Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 94 of The Curse of Strahd. I'm going to just recede back into the shadows as my characters continue to talk with one another.
It was a whole thing. We
Nice continuity.
weren't sure about how to get into Kresik or any of that. So in the meantime, Genlin and I, or Tiny and I, and Genlin, I suppose at the time, all went to the house of Blinsky, a toy maker in the city.
I quite like him.
And
Oh! Tiny ruffles around in one of his pouches and pulls out this tiny toy guillotine and gives it, takes it or hands it to Exhibitor. I got this for you. Yes.
Anyways, along the way, I said something to Genlin that ruffled his feathers.
I agreed. It was not smart.
I made a tasteless joke.
Can I
Okay.
hear the joke?
No, it wasn't funny. I commented that to the two people who died the previous night, asking if they were worth his life. And so he left. And Tiny and I finished with the House of Blinsky, realizing that, in fact, Rictavio was the person we were looking for in the first place, not the toy maker. And so we went back to find Genlin, who happened to be at the inn. And he had convinced Erwin to at least let him eat there. And while we were reconciling my tasteless joke, Tiny, and I'll gesture to you.
I was waiting outside because I felt that ambushing him after he'd kicked us out of his establishment would not go over well, and he was walking around outside, and I saw him and I called him over, and he both agreed that getting Irina out of the town was a good idea, and graciously gave us a barrel of wine to take to Kresik to get her to safety.
So,
She's safe.
Sorry?
She's safe.
That's we're...
yes,
Should you want me to? Yes.
she is.
Do you want me to go into the whole
Yes.
Kresik situation? Okay, so we arrived in Kresik. We got in quite easily with the wine, and we started walking to the chapel
Abby.
and
Saint
we
Markovia.
met, yes, of Saint Markovia, and we met this very handsome man who apparently is a rabbit. I'm not sure. Anyway, so he
The
took
abbot. We met the abbot.
that makes much more sense. He took us. Well, he was leading us to the abbey, and there's a small little pond that Irina started going towards, and she kind of fell into a trance of some kind after a water boy came out of the water and called her name, but not her name, Tatiana.
And
Right.
she called him Sergey.
Yes, so they knew each other, and then she was reaching to him, and I don't remember who it was, but got her hand away. Got her hand away, and she started wailing and moaning. So we took her to the abbey to hopefully have the abbot help her. and he said that he couldn't really, and that maybe their best hope was to have that whole situation happen again. It turns out that Sergey is Strahd's brother, was Strahd's brother, and Tatiana and him were engaged, and Strahd was not okay with that. So he killed and drank the blood of his brother, which is what turned him into a vampire. So that's fun. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I was
I
gonna
need
say,
water.
and Tatiana was his obsession, his love, whatever you want to call it. But she died running away
Or
from him.
kind of.
She is.
I'm a little fuzzy there.
It seems she gets reborn in the body of others, which is why Strahd was obsessed with Irina.
Because no souls leave Barovia.
Well, on the plus side, one soul did in fact leave Barovia. We, after being kicked out of the Abbey for not wanting to buy a dress for his shambled parts together wife for Strahd,
There is a
Weird.
small difference of opinion of the Abbey and the Abbot.
Yes, he's an angel, but they don't believe me anyway. So we stayed the night in the inn, and we took her the next day to the pond again, and we had a brief conversation beforehand with Tatiana, and she left with Sergey and is now at peace.
We believe. Particularly since once she went to rest in the pond with her love, Strahd tried to kill us.
Well, yeah.
He tried to severely damage us.
Yeah, he sent lightning or thunder or something down and it exploded and it wasn't great. But he wasn't in Krezk. His voice and his power were like in the sky.
But he did vow that once our contract was complete, all three of us would die. So, we decided to complete the abbot's request.
I decided.
We decided to go back to Vallaki, which happens to be where the dress needed to be purchased.
And
Tiny was to return by himself, but
yes.
certain other circumstances, including the death threat of the three of us, had us all return with a dress later. The other fairly important piece of information there is that in order to try and find out more information about Izek and the burgomaster we were trying to overthrow, we went to visit him. And because we didn't have a good reason for going there, I look at Tiny for a moment. I had to come up with one. So we told him about the skull and about Argenvolstholt and how returning the skull would light the beacon. And we told him that Lady Voctor was in league with Strahd, or so we believed. And he decided that it would be a great idea to take the skull and return it. Which, in a sense, was very beneficial to us.
But also not great.
Yeah, because we knew that if he showed up at Lady Voctor's to take the skull and accuse her of being in league with Strahd, that she would, and more importantly, Strahd would be suspicious and likely end the contract then and there. So we had to go to her house, or rather I did, and had to try and convince her that this was all a part of the plan and that we were going to ambush them on the road. But as was predicted by Genlin, she excitedly decided that she was going to tell Strahd and that they were going to come and ambush them with us. In the end, it was decided that they would go by themselves. And I tried to convince them, at the very least, to wait until after the skull had been delivered to Argynvolstholt, because it would make her transition easier into becoming burgomaster. She seemed pleased, but I don't know if it worked. I don't know if the ambush happened on the way there or the way back. I don't know if the skull is safely at Argynvolstholt or if it's sinking into the mud in Berez. That's where Genlin went. He went to scout it. He's gone ahead to see
If it made it to Argynvolstholt, or if it is in the sunken place.
the other fairly important piece of information is that the bit we got out of having a dress made for the really fucked up abbot
Oh,
is that we have 3 raise the dead spells. So if any of us dies, just take our bodies to Krezek.
yes. So I made that deal with him and brought the dress back, and he, like Xandra said, promised that he could resurrect 3 corpses. And I asked him who he was, and when it seemed like he thought briefly about showing me, but he backed up and wings spread out from his back, and he was kind of blue. And yes, so he is an angel of the sun, morning lord. There we go. Genlin and Xandra don't believe me, but it's true.
What Tiny and I haven't told you about the Abbey is that it is filled with mongrel folk, half beast, half man, and the person that the dress was for is some sort of flesh golem that the abbot has created to appease Strahd. She's sewn together with bits of human dug up from graves. It doesn't sound very angelic to me, Tiny, that's all.
So, with that he has been here for centuries. And when we first met Cypher, no offense, Cypher, a little fucked up. And only been here for how long have you been here?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. So really think about being stuck here for a century or more and being cut off from your god. I think going a little crazy and trying anything to get out of here would come to you as well. We, in fact, have already done stupid things to try and get out of here.
Is that it?
I just shake my head at that.
Is that all we need to know?
I think so.
I'm going to turn to a Sipiter. Now it's our turn to make a decision. A choice. What do you think?
Story time for you now?
Tiny-
We need a moment to talk first.
Fair?
I'm
Sorry, Marshall. As a player, did you want a moment to talk privately?
I mean, you can take Cypher away if you want to. I'm more so just turning to you as a, character going, we get to make this decision now, and I told you I'd let you make the lead.
I didn't want to take away a scene if you had something in mind, but I have no reason to speak to Cypher privately, so that's why I'm asking.
Yep, so then he's just waiting for you to make your mind up. Say what you want to say before he does.
Xandra is only looking in your eyes now.
I'll just you foolish, dauntless woman. Your bravery has led you to make such condemnable choices. But I'll just I'll give Xandra a cautious hug.
Oh yeah, as you step in, she starts to cry.
And I'll just say I forgive you and thank you for looking out for me. And
I was just gonna say she just whispers, "I'm sorry," over and over again under her breath as she's crying.
When it feels appropriate to approach Tiny, I'll just extend a hand and say, "Thank you, and just companions."
I hug him. And lift him up and
Aww.
Just and yeet him into the trees, and they're like, "Run, go!"
Xandra, let's go!
After Etziper lets me go, I'll look to Cypher and kind of tentatively take a step forward and just say, "And you?"
Not much has changed, really. Whole time we've been here, whole time I've been here, Strahd plays his games, and people get hurt. But I'm gonna be honest, it's the fact that we're all so interesting to him that he gets a kick out of it. If we weren't here, all these broken spirits, he wouldn't have much to do. Wouldn't have a reason to really mess with people to the extent we push him. Just for the fact that we still feel. Yeah. You did some tough choices. You went through a hard time. What would have happened with or without you? He just wanted you to watch. So don't beat yourself up too much. He'll do that plenty when we fight him.
So where does this leave us? To Berez or to Argenvolstold?
I don't know. I honestly, we were going back to find Rictavio because we're running out of time. If the contract has been fulfilled, and I can only assume that it was because I'm still here, then Lady Voctor will be taking over the town, and I can only imagine what that means. And if it wasn't, then it not only means that the time is short, it potentially means that our cover is blown and it's over anyways. And regardless, he's threatened to kill all three of us when the contract ends. So I'm either his or I'm dead. And we were just trying to accomplish as many goals as quickly as possible. But if Rictavio is not going to be there when we get back, perhaps we head to Argenvolstold?
Refresh my memory. When we were there talking about the skull with that one revenant or whatever you want to call him, he said he would aid us if we brought the skull back? He was an ally.
This is correct. Yes.
So regardless if the skull made it back or not, we need to collect him or get his aid, whatever that ends up being. So
I don't think he would without the skull.
Not without the skull.
So it's either there or we need to still take it there. So we need to drop by at least. Genlin headed that direction, or he went to Berez? Where did he go?
He went to scout. I honestly don't know where he ended up deciding. I can only assume he would have gone to Argenvolstold first.
Probably
But-
Strahd's castle, actually. We'll find him there.
Cypher, I
back
missed
to
your
your
humor.
old jokes. No, Archie, stop.
Have we any more to discuss? Or is
I-
that-
What
I
happened
would
with
love
you
to know
guys?
how you got out, where you've been. You don't look harmed. I can only assume things went all right.
Yeah, their story's a lot shorter.
We did like 6 or 7 things.
I had to make sure Gertruda got back.
I know.
And thankfully, Cypher stood with me, so. Now she's on her way back, and we've got a vampire to kill.
We made it
But-
out of the castle by the way of teleportation. Found Strahd's teleportation room. Managed to choose a spot in the secluded mountains by... What were the name of the ruins?
The Amber Temple.
Yeah, by the Amber Temple. You know, where Strahd got his powers from. Didn't stay long, because we weren't a fighting force by any means. A little girl, the apprentice to a vampire slayer, and us. So we left. Got her
I'm
home.
sorry, the
Yeah, who?
apprentice to a vampire slayer?
Oh yes, that's Accipiter's new girlfriend. She's taking Gertruda home.
I look at Accipiter kind of in a like, what?
I don't think paladins are her thing.
May you have many children together.
That's how kobolds are made.
Oh no!
1,000 kobolds.
Yeah.
Her name is Esmeralda, and she's Rudolph Van Richten's apprentice, aide, whatever you call
Who
him.
is Rudolph Van Richten?
Oh, he's a cool guy. You'll meet him one day.
I look from Cypher to Accipiter. Like, what's the joke? Why is he laughing?
It's Rictavio.
Oh,
So
Oh.
Rictavio is a vampire slayer?
An unlikely ally, perhaps.
He used to have a monkey.
He did. He sold it to
Did he
Blinsky.
just- have a monkey? Like, did you ask him about that? Did he just have a pet monkey, or? I think you probably didn't ask him about that. Okay.
Told him I thought he was our unlikely ally as per destiny. And the only thing that was leading me to him, that was telling me he wasn't, was that he didn't have a monkey. So I simply asked him, have you ever?
And you were right. Somehow. Incredibly impressively, you were right.
Call it luck.
Bye soon. So
Target
how did
Wolf.
you turn from this temple?
Turn from what?
The
We
amber.
walk. We've been walking. We walk everywhere.
We walked, yes, it was quite the long trek. We had to get
And-
out of there first. It is guarded by some demonic guards. Vrox is what Esmeralda called them. Didn't want to invoke their wrath, so I took on the appearance of Strahd. Knowing that I've studied his walk, his move, his attitude, I was quite convincing, and they opened the gate right up for me. Which means, if we ever want to go back, I have the key.
Xander looks terrified but impressed. And you didn't run into any trouble on the way back?
Of course not. We had a child. There are certain rules about killing them. Even for Strahd.
Luck was with us.
Remember your contract. I doubt he could kill her now if he really wanted to. At least while it's in effect.
It's true. If it is still. Anyways, I am unbelievably
together.
glad that you're fine and that you made it out with
Likewise.
Gertruda.
And the girlfriend.
I do actually laugh at that.
So, let's go to Argenvolstolt. See if your contract's done.
Should we be keeping, a wagon with us wherever we go now?
I feel like
mean,
we
like-
should really purchase one. We have a lot of money now.
Yeah, because if your bodies die, I'm not going to be carrying those by hand back to Krezik.
Yeah, that's.
I need a wagon and something, yeah. Maybe a sled. No sled dogs here.
Apparently, he does well with
Krezik-
pieces.
Is very wintry.
I like that.
I
Krezik
look
is
at
very-
Accipiter and just go, don't you dare take me apart and sew me back together again.
What? What was that?
Apparently, the abbot does well with corpses and pieces. So
Oh, right.
I
we don't
wouldn't
need
say
to get there in
well.
one piece.
I always
She-
thought Tiny would look good with a long, feline tail. I would.
Oh, also Tiny doesn't have his top hat anymore.
Oh,
it's
no
true.
tail.
He sent it away.
That's very important.
Well, are we going to go get a wagon and then go to Argenvolstolt, or are we just going to Argenvolstolt?
There'll be a
Feel like
wagon,
wagon.
partially damaged on the way there if that's when they attacked it.
Or perhaps on the way back. It's really hard to tell with wagons these days.
Yeah.
I am most likely to die, so I should have the least say.
I'm not gonna let Strahd kill you.
I would let
We
him
might
kill you.
have to let Strahd kill her.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say I
bring it back.
get this very tiny voice that just says, "I don't think you get a say."
I think you also have to let Strahd kill me and Genlin. I think there's not a ton of choice in the matter.
He's not gonna kill us too, right? There was no and
No, just the
anyone you're
three.
with at
Just the
time.
three of us.
Oh, it's lovely.
It is Strahd, though. Perhaps he changes his mind at any given point, deciding that you have now associated with us. So, I make no promises for our actions. That one I do not regret, though, of all of the ones.
It's late. Time is wasting. Let's go.
If we need
Where?
a wagon when we get back, we'll get the wagon later, but yeah, Argonvol's told now.
What time is it, Justin?
It is 8 o'clock p.m. The sun is setting fast.
Should we not camp somewhere? Tiny has that safety spell thing. We can try and get there in the morning. I'm not keen to have some sort of encounter in the dark on the path, or even at Argonvol's Holt in the night. As I'm rambling, I just look to both, or the three of you, and just go, not that I'm afraid, I just have made enough poor decisions over the last 3 days.
Where are we on the map, Justin? How far out of
Oh,
Valaki?
you're like 10 minutes out, so you can like still see Krezek.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, you're just a
Fairly
bit
out
down
of
the path to the west.
Have we hit the bridge?
No.
No.
Okay. I mean, you two probably could go back to the inn if you wanted.
We could go to the coffin maker's place.
We don't know for sure that the vampires didn't go back there.
I just...
Oh, that was a joke. Oh, I
Same
thought I
old
was
me.
getting better at this.
Tsipiter, do you have any thoughts?
If we have nowhere to stay as a group, then Chinese home away from home is better than anywhere else.
I walk over to a shrub and I go, "This is my shrub for the night," and I just fall into it backwards.
It cracks and breaks away.
Please, there's thorns in whatever bush that is.
Blackberry bush. Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
I'll just
bracing.
walk off the trail kind of near where he did it. And set up bedroll.
Is there, like, nowhere better to camp than just off the trail 10 minutes outside of town?
It's fine. We've got magical protections.
Okay, fine.
We could
Which
camp
is
in
honestly,
the middle of the road and be an
hindsight from a
inconvenience.
player, how we should have done the Coffin Maker's house. Nathan was absolutely right. That's what you were going to suggest, and we didn't let you.
Nope.
What's that spell
Yeah.
called again, Nathan?
1 sec, sorry. That button. There you go.
It's called Rent is Due, motherfuckers.
Each of you owe me 3 silver. Thank you.
I'll give you a platinum. Actually, you have 100 of my gold. Oh yeah, we also stole a bunch of money. Well, we're given, technically, a bunch of money from Strahd.
They were there for that.
Because I didn't take any. Because I'm
we-
pious and stupid.
But the rest of us did. That's why I have 100 platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also got to keep that because of us.
You guys
Anyways.
camping for the night?
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. Can I have Accipiter and Xandra each make will saves for me, please?
Oh.
I don't want to, please.
Sorry.
This is the part where I kill you.
Where the fuck is will on the sheet?
There's no will save in
Wisdom,
5e.
wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
Xandra, you sleep soundly through the night. Accipiter, at around 2 o'clock in the evening, you have this sinking feeling in your stomach, as if you feel that someone is watching you.
But it's like magical. We're in this little realm thing, right?
Yeah,
But
no
you
one can
can
see. No one can see into it.
Yeah.
But we can see out of it.
That's
Yeah.
how it
Or
I don't
works.
can
know.
we? How does that work?
I kind of
then?
imagined it as like a black.
Yeah, total cover blocks the sphere. I think both in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna like kind of get out of bed. Kinda. I'm gonna. Like, what's like? Is someone up?
Everyone is sleeping
No.
soundly.
I'll take a minute to listen. Let's do a perception.
No, I actually think you can. It's an invisible, so I think you can see out.
Is it invisible?
Yeah, the total cover
I'm
blocks.
pretty
the
sure.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is. It's invisible, so it's like you guys are in like a little pocket world, but I think likewise.
Oh yeah, an invisible 30-foot radius sphere. Oh, okay, I've been imagining it wrong.
And I think also if someone can walk into it as well. I don't think anything stops someone from
No.
walking in.
Nope.
Yeah. And you guys are just off the path, right?
Just we're harder to we're hard
Yeah,
slash
unless
impossible
someone's
to
looking
see.
for it, it's very unlikely they'll find you, right?
Yeah.
So do I see?
You see on the
hear-
path, which is how far off the path did you guys make your camp?
I don't know. That's up to Xandra because Cypher
Well,
fell
actually,
into
it's
a
up to
bush
Tiny.
and
Tiny cast the spell.
I would say like in the bushes, but not in the bushes.
So like 20 feet off the path, or like 30 feet.
yeah, 20 to 30 feet. 30 feet because that's the cover. We'll
yeah,
say
yeah.
30 feet because that's the radius.
Accipiter, you're able to see. You're not able to see who it is, but you're confident that someone is standing on the trail, staring in towards where you are. It doesn't look like they're
Would you-
looking at you, but they're looking in that direction.
Tiny, would you have told us that if we leave the sphere, it disappears?
I
No.
think it's only when he leaves it.
It's only him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
someone. Hey, can I tell anything about them? Like, are they a hulking behemoth? Are they a small person?
No, they're normal size. They're a medium creature. I love this spell.
The Hearth of Moonlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like this circle.
Circle of the Dreams, yeah. So I'll see if there's any other rules for it. Just want to make sure I'm not... No, that's it. All right.
You're not
So
messing
really
what
with
would you
me.
like to do? Would you like to just go back to bed? Would
No,
you like
I'm
to
gonna
wake somebody up?
grab. I'm gonna grab a weapon, and like we're in the bushes and the guy's like on the trail, sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
Does-
grab a.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll just grab a weapon and just kind of. I'll come out of the sphere, but like in such a way where it looks like I'm just coming out of the bushes. Hopefully, right?
Sure, give me a
Does my-
deception check, please.
Does my passive perception work while I'm sleeping?
No.
Sorry, did you say deception?
Yeah, because you're trying to pretend
No.
you're coming out of the bush.
Would that be stealth or deception? Is what I'm asking.
Deception, you're acting like you're coming out of it unless you're trying to not
Could
be
it,
no.
could it be performance?
Yeah,
maybe?
performance.
Like,
Performance as well. Deception or
okay.
performance?
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
You do make it look like you actually step out of just the bush and the trees. It totally looks like you're not stepping out of a magic portal. You're able to find a little point within some brush to step out.
Does the person notice me when I step out?
You notice that their head kind of turns slightly as if they are now looking at you.
Identify yourself.
There's no response. You also can't see too far because it is dark. It's just on moonlight right now.
Yeah. Are you friend or foe?
Still no response.
Is this figure like some weird cloaked figure like we saw on the bridge, perhaps? Like just an effigy?
I don't know. You're too far away and it's way too dark to tell.
Let's approach cautiously.
As you get closer, a crack of lightning fills the sky. And standing in the center of the road, next to a horse as black as night, who lights up in flames as the lightning cracks, is Strahd watching you. We're going to take a break there.